As I was saying, both of them have decided to make my job a little easy. So they're going to do their introduction themselves. So thank you so much. So we have Harsha and Renuka. Over to you.
A very good morning, everyone, and a warm welcome to our session on Journey Toward a Smart Health. I am Renuka Shastry, and accompanying me is my colleague Harsha Kulkarni. We are from Bangalore, and we are proud to represent Aviva on such a prestigious platform. Before we begin, let me introduce myself. I am Renuka Shastry. I'm an agile technical writer with over a decade of experience in writing for various domains, especially in the space of industrial software. I lead an expert team that revamps conventional technical documentation to cater to advancing technologies and solutions. On the personal front, I enjoy reading stories to my 4-year-old daughter, whose never-ending stream of questions inspires me to stay curious, keep learning, and be creative. I'll now hand it over to Harsha to introduce herself and to take us forward. Over to you, Harsha.
A very good morning, everyone. I am Harsha Kulkarni. I lead a high-performing team that successfully delivers technical documentation for cloud and mobile solutions. I have over a decade of experience in technical writing across domains. My quest for knowledge and penchant for continuous learning has empowered me to gain various certifications. When I'm not working, I enjoy reading, traveling with my family, and exploring new cuisines with my son. Now that you know a little bit about me, let me give you a quick glimpse into Aviva. Aviva is a global leader in industrial software and drives digital transformation and sustainability. This digital transformation journey has inspired us to take our health system to the next level. Technological advancements have shaped how we think, live, and evolve. Technical writing, too, has traversed many paths, from linear, feature-oriented content to structured, task-oriented content. Gone are the days of conventional manuals, guides, and digital documents such as PDFs and web help. Today, we live in a world of constant time crunch and decreasing attention span. Our users now want the right information in the right context at the right time. With apps, bots, and artificial intelligence systems, we have an opportunity to serve our users better. The digital transformation has paved the way for smart products, which call for smart health. As more solutions cater to cloud and smart devices, our focus must pivot to optimize the content and make it lean, accessible, and searchable. In today's session, we will share a few strategies which will help you transform your technical documentation with innovative technologies. Our first strategy is smart guidance and context. So, imagine a user who is working on an application. When the user is unsure about how to proceed further or faces an error, typically the user would access the help system and hopes to find a solution. This entire experience changes drastically with the help of smart guidance. The idea behind it is to show relevant help content for rarely used or complex features. So let me give you an example. Chocolates. So by show of hands, how many of us in this room like chocolates? Wow, almost everyone in the room. And I love chocolates too. So have you ever wondered how chocolates get made in a factory? Yes? Okay. We have some yeses. Okay. In a typical chocolate factory, a batch of chocolate liquor is blended with cocoa and sugar and is then heated. This chocolate paste then goes through various factory lines, where each line is for a different form, flavor, or combination. For example, there could be a separate line for white chocolate bars, dark chocolate bars, and triangle-shaped chocolate with nuts. Having all these chocolates in my hand is actually making my mouth watering. Yeah, okay. Now that we know how chocolates get made in a factory, So let us think of an application that helps you visualize this factory and control its setup. What we see here is a scaled-down version of the application. In a typical chocolate factory, the actual application is far more complex with accurate representation of different processes, workflows, and equipment. This application gets used by multiple users, such as administrators, system integrators, plant managers, and operators. Now, each of these users has a specific role to play. An administrator sets up applications, manages users, and grants permissions. A system integrator integrates third-party applications and customizes them to meet client requirements. A plant manager ensures that the factory runs at its optimum efficiency. An operator looks into the day-to-day operations of the factory. Now consider that one of these users is working on the application. What if the help system analyzes that the user is performing a complex task or is working on a particular feature after a long period of time? So, based on this analysis, the help system then offers smart guidance for these features or tasks even before the user looks for them. In our example of the chocolate factory, most users first add a reactor, followed by a switch, and then a pump. The smart guidance automatically populates suggestions for the user. As seen in this illustration, the list of topics suggested include adding a pump, creating custom properties for the reactor, and so on. Don't you feel that every user would wish to have such an experience while working with any application? Yes, I see a lot of yeses. I sure would love the same experience too. Now, let us take this experience a notch higher. What if the help system analyzes the time spent on a feature or the current exploration in the application? This enables the help system to offer smart context, which is the next level of context-sensitive help. Let us go back to our example of the chocolate factory. When an administrator works on user management, then the context-sensitive help includes topics which are relevant to the tasks of an administrator. For example, adding roles and adding permissions. However, when an operator works on user management, then only the content relevant to the tasks of an operator gets listed. For example, updating the profile, viewing permissions, and so on. This makes the entire user experience as sweet as relishing a bar of chocolate, aka user delight. Now, let's see how we can make this experience even more delightful by using our second strategy, which is smart search. So I am a bibliophile. I love reading books. I know how avid readers read books cover to cover without skipping a single word. Gone are the days when users read product documentation in a similar fashion. Today, our users want all the information at their fingertips. We can serve our users better by tapping the power of search. So we have smart context search, which enhances regular search by showing top results based on user, industry, complexity, previous searches, and exploration. As we've seen earlier, the application in the chocolate factory caters to a diverse set of users. Let us now see how a role-based search would work in this factory. So when an administrator searches with the keyword recipe, then only the content relevant to the tasks of an administrator gets listed. As seen in this illustration, the search results in a list of topics appropriate for the role. For example, managing recipes and recipe permissions. When an operator searches with the same keyword, then only the topics relevant to the tasks of an operator gets listed. For example, executing a recipe, pausing a recipe, and creating alarms. On the same lines, when a plant manager searches with the same keyword, then only the content relevant to the tasks of a plant manager gets listed. For example, generate, compare, and print recipe execution reports. Now, all we have seen are happy paths. There could also be scenarios where a keyword search could return 0 results. This may leave the user frustrated or may force them to think of a synonym. The solution to this is a smart related search. A smart related search enhances regular search by showing content containing nearest terms for keywords or key phrases that do not return any results. In our example of the chocolate factory, consider a scenario where the user searches with the term alerts and the application uses the term alarms. So in this scenario, the help system detects that the terms alerts and alarms can be used interchangeably. Therefore, the help system then offers a list of topics containing the term alarms. This entire approach ensures that the user has a seamless experience with search. These are the first two strategies in this transformation journey. I'll now hand it over to Renuka to share the other strategies. Over to you, Renuka.
The concept of table of contents has remained unchanged with an approach of one size that fits all. However, today we have many users who use the application for different requirements. As we've seen earlier, the roles and responsibilities of each user can be diverse and yet overlapping. A static table of content cannot serve them effectively. Role-based documents have tried to overcome this problem by putting together content relevant to a role. This still leaves out users who play more than one role. A solution to this problem could be a smart table of content which dynamically changes the content based on the user, organization, and industry. It considers the user's experience, expertise, and exploration, the complexity of the task at hand, and the patterns emerging from the user base. It then personalizes the table of content to make it relevant and specific to the user, and yet creating a leaner help system. For example, a new operator on a complex factory setup initially gets very simple tasks, right? So when this operator logs in, the help system identifies the roles and responsibilities of this operator and dynamically changes the content to make it relevant to our operator. Here is an illustration with a help system which has smart table of content implemented with the option to customize the content based on user roles. If you customize it for an administrator, the content relevant to the role of an administrator comes together. The table of content shows topics such as licensing information, installation, or configuration. Similarly, if you customize it for an operator, the table of content not only gets leaner, but it also shows topics which is relevant to the role of an operator, such as introduction, getting started, or troubleshooting. A major benefit of this approach is that if you select multiple roles, all the relevant topics would come together without any duplication. Now let's see how we can take the smart table of content to the next level, which is smart collection, which allows your users to create a bespoke book based on the smart table of content or a custom collection of content to suit the changing needs of the users. For example, you can handpick a few topics to an entire chapter and add it to the custom collection. You're thus saving the time and the effort for your users to go through the entire help system for their specific task at hand. Together, the smart table of content and smart collection can help you to transform your one-size-fits-all content to a tailor-made solution for your users. Moving on to our next strategy is smart multimedia. Imagine that you have to understand and work on a new application. Okay, by show of hands, how many of us can learn effectively by reading instructions or long procedural steps? Nobody? Okay. By show of hands again, how many of us are more inclined to turn towards audio, video, and visual effects for guidance? I see some smiles and all hands up. That's me too. So as we see here, each one of us have a unique learning preference, and the same applies to our users too. Through multimedia, we can make our help system more accessible and cater to the diverse user base. Multimedia is a proven and effective method to help users understand or emulate complex tasks. You can create interactive content by combining text, images, animations, audio, and video. So this blend of multimedia and interactive content paves way to what we call as the smart multimedia. Smart playback is a form of smart multimedia which delivers help content as a series of short animated audio or video clips. Let's consider the users who prefer to listen rather than read. With a smart playback implemented in the help system, the relevant help information automatically plays back in the background in coordination with the user action. So we all love chocolates, so let's go back to our example of the chocolate factory. The user first adds a reactor to heat the chocolate paste, and then the user has to configure various parameters for this reactor, such as the reactor name, the data type of the reactor, and its temperature. Now say the user is new or is unsure about the data type of the reactor. With a smart playback implemented, the relevant help information is automatically played back even before the user can access the help system. Let me show you smart playback in action.
Select the data type from the available options. Boolean, double, float, integer, string, and text. The data type for the selected equipment type is Boolean.
This simple implementation could have a profound impact for users with auditory learning preference. And since the audio guidance is an optional feature, it could be configured to be turned off for users who are more familiar with the application or who have other learning preferences. Moving on is Smart Overlay, which is yet another form of smart multimedia for our visual learners, even without moving from the current screen. It delivers help content as a series of visual effects. It could be an overlay, which appears when you hover over a field label or an icon. It could be a superimposed image on the user interface, or it could be a spotlight, which highlights the user interface, the help information, or both. Now let's see how the smart overlay works for our user who is trying to configure the data type of the reactor. As you can see here, a spotlight highlights the data type field and the relevant help information. We believe these are some great ways to make our help system more inclusive, more accessible, and smarter. Let me summarize the strategies that we shared with you today. The strategy of smart guidance and context ensures relevant context-sensitive help gets shown to the users working on new or complex features. Smart search ensures relevant search results get shown to the users even for keywords that did not return any results by showing the topics containing the nearest terms. Smart table of contents ensures relevant and curated content gets shown to the users to suit their changing needs. Finally, the strategy of smart multimedia ensures rich content in the form of audios, videos, and overlays gets seamlessly delivered to the users as they go about their work. All these strategies can disrupt the way current help systems work. How can we get started with these strategies? Now that's a question, right? We can get started with these strategies by analyzing the user action and experience through heat maps and other analytical tools to obtain data sets. These data sets can form inputs to enrich the metadata of the help system and for your machine learning models to create trends. These trends, with the power of artificial intelligence and human insight, can pave way to smart help. So the objective of our smart help is to empower our users to just focus on their work while the help helps them at every step of the way. So we hope that this session helped you to look at the smart help from a different perspective and to make your help system smarter with some or all our strategies. It has been a pleasure and an honor to present at this conference today. We thank the STC India team for giving us this opportunity and for all of you for being such a wonderful audience. Thank you so much.